It's three guys who combined to play 15 seasons in the National Football League trenches. Well, two guys. And Mackey, who didn't do shit. This is the O-Line Committee.
Boy, executive decision by Jeremiah here. You're punishing Alex for being late for our recording time.
I'm here.
No, you're not. You're 2 minutes late.
I'm here.
You just take a selfie?
Late.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Listen, number one, the link wasn't sent till like a minute ago, so don't even start
that's
with.
such a that's
Oh,
that's
really?
A lie. Yeah, because we
really?
both have been in.
It
here
was at
since-
11:56. I got the link. 11:56.
That would be exactly 7
4 minutes?
minutes ago.
That's also an
4
under
minutes
the bus fine right there.
No,
Okay.
it's not. You want to throw me under the bus? It takes 5 minutes to log on. What do you want me
You're
to
so
say?
sensitive. Why are you so sensitive today?
Because you
My
started the show without
Goodness,
me, dickbag.
sensitive. Ultra?
Fucking come through this goddamn
That's an
screen
ultra.
in a minute.
That's an ultra sensitive.
Fuck
Well,
it, I'm
you're
here. I might as well
spicy.
go
You're
crazy.
spicy
Fuck
this
you.
morning.
Fuck you.
Hey,
Ultra
Booney,
again.
can you do me a favor and just like for 5 seconds, just open the blinds? I want to see
No.
your window for a second.
No. They're
Just
doing
open-
something on the street. You don't want to see it.
Well, I was asking because usually before the show, you've got those dirty windows behind you there, and
could
I
barely
have
see
a
through it.
recommendation for you in the audience. Our new friends at KW Outdoor Solutions
All right.
for the Twin Cities crowd.
I can't even see
So-
out this goddamn thing. I'm going to need some of that.
That's right. So you need to call or go to the website, kwoutdoorsolutions.com. So they specialize in external or exterior cleaning services, and specifically windows this time of year. All this, like the dirt, the grime, the buildup from like the winter and the spring, dirt and dust buildup, hard water stains, cobwebs, grime, even screens. Like your screens get all full
Oh,
of
yeah.
gnats and just cobwebs and stuff.
Yeah.
So whether it's a one-time deep clean or part of a recurring maintenance plan, KW Outdoor Solutions can make your windows shine so you don't have to cover them up in shame. KWOutdoorSolutions.com, boys.
What a way to start.
I know. I feel like I've been shamed this morning. Like, good God, dude. I'm good. I swear.
Don't be. I mean, be on time.
I'm going
and you
to
won't
fight
get
this
shamed.
one. Send the link sooner. That's right, coach. I called you out.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
I'll eat that fine.
I was going to send it like an hour
all
beforehand.
You've seen me and Tony go at it. That's how it was.
Are you guys ready for an extended dumb football
Are you?
questions edition? It was so wildly
course.
popular the last time we did it.
Sure was.
I'm gonna start with a couple of my own dumb football questions here. And by the way, if you haven't already, maybe you're new to the O-Line Committee, click that like button, the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, and then you can help us out by giving us a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple and Spotify. We got the Rhino, Alex Boone, Jeremiah Sirles, Phil Mackey, and this first one comes from me. I'm wondering, with Ben Johnson gone from the Lions, Aaron Glenn, so you lose your coordinators. All right, whatever. You'll just plug in some new coaches. Frank Ragnow just retired, one of the best offensive linemen, like an anchor of that offense. So he just retired last week. Are you still confident in the Lions to win that division and be Super Bowl contenders with all these losses?
Yes.
I am 100%. I think, you can look across the board, and losing coordinators is hard. Losing and changing stuff is not easy, but I can't remember. I mean, this is an old school saying, right? It's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
Fucking right.
Right? Like, that's an old school saying from coaches. And if you look at the Jimmies and the Joes, especially on that offense, yes, losing Frank hurts. They just drafted Tate Ratledge, right?
Right.
He can probably play a little bit of center there too. Christian Mahogany can play a little center there too. They've got options. It's going to be hard to replace a Pro Bowler, right? But you've still got Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker. You have Jahmyr Gibbs, who's going to just explode this year. I mean, I think
good.
he's going to be a early runner for maybe an MVP type caliber year.
Ooh, that's a reckless speculation.
I mean, that
right
is-
there.
that is
I
a
like
little
it. I like
reckless.
it. He's good. Look
But
at
dude,
reckless.
think about the numbers he had last year, splitting carries with David Montgomery.
I know.
Right? Even if he takes a quarter more carries this year, his numbers are going to be ridiculous, right? And then you come in, you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're going to have Aiden Hutchinson back. I still have a lot of confidence that the Lions roster, if they can stay healthy, should still win that division.
unlike last year. I agree 100% with you. While it is losing, Frank is a big piece of that offense. It's also not like you have a young rookie quarterback back there who it's like, man, now a lot just got thrown on his plate. Like at some point, Jay's kind of right. Somebody who's in that room will take over that job. And so they're smart enough right now to figure it out. But also, too, Jay kind of hit it on the point, like the identity of this team is made up of everyone, right? And everyone believes in that and everyone's into it. So you're expecting that the next center to step in there will have the same mindset, right? Come out here and just destroy. Like you said, you have Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield. When that doesn't start working, we're going to hit the play action. I firmly believe in this team still.
I do too, to some extent. But their schedule too, when you look at it,
center made you change your mind.
No,
Jesus Christ, Mackie.
Oh, wait a second. It's not like last week I was saying undefeated.
It's a homer fine. Get him with the homer fine.
The purple Kool-Aid
He
is starting
can't
to
help
flow
himself.
in
He
Egan.
cannot help
The
himself.
purple Kool-Aid is flowing.
Center
in Egan.
retired. This is our chance. Oh God, we're
Look
gonna
at
fucking get
it's
him.
crazy.
talk.
I'm
Let
the
him
one
talk. Let him
standing
talk.
up for the
Let him
importance
talk.
of a key cog offensive lineman. And the guys who spent
let
a
him
decade
talk.
and a half are like, offensive linemen don't matter. Doesn't matter. You can just plug
I
in
mean,
anybody.
you
right?
talk about
Yeah.
a team with this much talent. You're right. One center. Fuck, we'll find another one, boys. But I mean, you talk about the makeup of how they are. And Jay's right. If they can stay healthy, they're your dominant team on roster.
Their schedule is a little daunting, okay? At Green Bay, first week. Chicago, second week at home. You're going to be favored there. But at Baltimore, week 3. Short week. Cleveland at home, you should be favored. But at Kansas City, at Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, and then you get a bye. And out of the bye, it's Vikings, at Washington, at Philadelphia. Those are the Lions' first 9 games.
That's a hellacious
you-
3-game schedule right there at the end.
See, but it can go both ways. Like, I think it's really interesting when you talk about like how hard the schedule is. That can also battle harden you, right? I mean, look at like when the Patriots and the stuff, when they were playing the top tier teams and it was Peyton versus Brady every single year. When you win those games, and if you go to Arrowhead and you find a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs earlier in the year, like, yes, it looks daunting on paper, but if you can actually be able to go, I feel like I'm quiet. I'm going to turn myself up, right? If you feel like
that's a little better. Yeah.
If you actually can feel like you can go and win those type of games on the road, it gives you so much momentum as a team. And so it's definitely a double-edged sword when you look at the schedule and go, ooh, it's a lot of big-time games. But you go, man, we go 3-4, and out of those, the NFC North, or the AFC North, we go 3-4 in that, we're going to feel pretty dang good about ourselves heading into the playoffs and heading into November and December. So I never looked at that as the strength of schedules like, oh, that's hard. I looked as like, man, if these guys can get on a hot streak, like the rest of the NFL is going to be put on notice.
Yeah. All right. So you guys disrespecting one of the great centers in the NFL, just dismissing this mastermind offensive coordinator.
Such a lying fine right there.
Such a lying
I could not agree more.
Have you seen, by the way, I've been just trying to catch up on like training camp or OTA notes, I guess. And Ben Johnson, this is from a few days ago, but after our last episode, they're literally working on how to correctly come out of the huddle right now with the Chicago Bears offense. They are
You got to walk before you run, baby.
Absolutely.
You got to crawl before you walk and walk
No.
before you run.
Come over here. We clap and then we spin
On one.
counterclockwise.
Ready?
Dude, it's not far off. Here's the quote. This is from Ben Johnson with the Bears. There's a certain way that the play needs to get communicated in the huddle. There's a certain way that the break should sound to us as we leave the huddle.
Yeah.
That means we're ready for business. We're ready to get going. If it doesn't sound that way, then we're not going to allow the practice to go south. Fatigue is something that we're going to combat. The longer the practice goes, the more fatigue guys get. The mental toughness has to come through, yada, yada. But he's literally like stopping practice if the play and the break and the energy.
Okay, I've seen that. Number one, we've seen that where if you break the huddle wrong, they'll make you come back. They'll be like,
think
that
back
was
to our most viral Instagram video last year was when the Bears, the week before Eberflus got fired.
That's right.
Because you had 11 people running 4 different plays.
Yep.
Right? That all starts with the communication in the huddle. Right? Caleb came in and was probably fumbling around on a wristband, and half the guys were probably looking at the shot clock like, oh my gosh, we got to go. Or this might have been Justin Fields 2 years ago. I can't Justin Fields. I can't
No,
remember.
it was last year.
No, it was Caleb Williams.
Was it
Remember, he
Caleb?
rolled to the left and all
That's
the routes
right.
were to the right. We all laughed.
Yeah, that's right. Right. And so
we did some field stuff too, where he like didn't account for the like the free running edge rusher.
I mean, it all blurs together. It's just multiple years of like, oh my gosh,
It's
right.
been a
But
mess.
that all starts in the communication. And it's something that we would take for, like, I took for granted, right? Because you just think that that's how it's supposed to be. But if you think about, like, these college quarterbacks come in, they're not used to calling a play, having to remember, having someone in their head. Like, it all starts there, because if you're fumbling to get through the play, then you try and break the huddle quickly, then no one remembers what the snap count is, and then no one knows what the check is. Like, the communication from quarterback to the other 10 guys is so vital. I mean, it makes a ton of sense why there had so many errors and run-throughs and missed routes and missed depth targets, missed protections. Like, if you're not all on the same page, you're losing before you even snap the football.
Dude, you said it, though. The kids coming from college now are not used to commanding a huddle, right? They're not used to 10 dudes looking at them going, what's the play? And having to dish out, hey, trips right, 394, loco, Dino, kill, 97 power, alert, 375, right? Like, instantly, you're looking at a lot of dudes going, got it. All right, here we go. Ready? If Jay's right, the minute it's like, wait a minute, no, flip that. It's all like, fuck, we're screwed. Shit. All right. I'm already fucked in my head. He said flip and then run it back. I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Like, because you're so locked in on what he's saying, and then he says trips, and you, like, in your mind, you picture the trips, and then he says right, and you're like, okay, tight ends to the right now. Like, you're running along with him, that if all of a sudden he goes, wait, go back, you're like, nope, can't go back. Cannot whiteboard this motherfucker. You are in
there's
this.
no time. The clock.
Well, then you're looking at the shot clock and you go 20 seconds, right?
There's
Like,
the center,
20
right?
seconds.
Guys, we got to go. Guys,
center's going, hey, gotta go.
go.
Dude, it's chaos. Like,
I think it's funny, like, this aspect of it for outsiders, fans like me.
They probably
just,
think we're idiots. Like, what do you mean you can't call a play?
Well, we focus on, like, what happens wrong after the ball is snapped. What was the quarterback thinking?
Correct.
Why did the left guard get beat on this or whatever?
Well,
but there's things that if something is off, or there's a rush or a panicked huddle and the clock's winding down.
over.
Well, I mean, it's as simple as the quarterback, like, they usually, if they have wristbands, usually it's called, like, one way, and then the quarterback or the offensive coordinator will call and be like, hey, 16, flip it. Right? And so they'll go, okay, so if 16 is gun, trips right, 64, X cross, Y dig, alert, alert 2 jet, Dino or whatever, he has to go, okay, trips left, 65, alert, 3 jet, right? And I've seen this happen with young quarterbacks.
It goes wrong.
They'll flip the protection, but not the formation. Or they'll flip the first part of it and forget to flip the second part of it. So then vets in the huddle are going, hold on, wait, we can't do that.
We just go 64-2. We can't do that.
Right? Or it's like, we can't go trips into the boundary. What are you doing? Right? Like, and so that's the kind of stuff where you have to be like, okay, hold on, I got to repeat this. And the center's going 15, right? And then the shot turns off in the guy's ear, and then but the eyes get big. And you're like, all right, let's just get up here. Just let's roll, buddy. Let's just try and figure out what we're doing here.
Yeah. We got this. I mean, so with the attention to detail that Ben Johnson's bringing,
they should be winning.
I
this
expect
year.
Lions
I do
huddles to
too.
be chaos now. Actually, so
Yeah, Lions don't know how to huddle anymore. Ben's gone. What do we do?
Okay, next dumb football question here for you guys. Football. I'm going to read something first, and then I'll ask you the question. So from Jack Mack CFB on Twitter, and I've seen this from a lot of different flag football wonks last week. And he says, pick any 10 NFL players tomorrow and put them up against the USA flag football team. And I would bet that the flag football team wins, and I would bet $50,000. NFL team loses every single time. This should be considered when making the Olympics team in 2028. So my dumb football question is, are you ready to admit that professional flag football players are better than NFL players at that sport?
Listen, I agree that if you just rolled them out there tomorrow and just put the ball on the turf without any practice, without any information of how the game is played, the rules, the regulations, all that stuff, I think the flag football team probably wins in a close game, right? In a close game, because no one's catching Tyreek Hill as he streaks down the sideline. However, you give those 10 elite NFL players 2 weeks to run around and not get tackled, right? Not get touched, just be pure athletes out there playing tag, essentially.
OTAs, just at
Like,
OTAs.
You give them 2 weeks, and then it's a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. They just murder everyone. Just give them 2 weeks. Give them 2 weeks and a play call. These dudes know how to look at defenses. They know how to look at everything. You don't think they can figure out a flag football field with 70 yards? Come on. That's a dumb take.
It is funny. It is funny, like because I've read a lot of it. I went down a rabbit hole of, oh man, there's like a huge group of people, like media members and flag football people that say
they're
like no idea.
They're worse than the Kirk Crusaders, man. There is just like the flag football purists of the world are so upset about NFL
Are you guys being
players.
serious?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes, there
the
is
community. The flag football community is up in arms.
I know this is a joke. This is
not.
joke. I'm not even gonna.
Because one of the biggest arguments is until you play flag football, you don't understand how low to the ground these professional flag football players can get the flag and make it hard to grab the flag. Okay. Well, again, give the NFL players 2 weeks to figure out.
Have you not seen Jamar Chase? They can tackle him. Right? They can grab him as he's running, like physically with 2 hands. There's 20 hands out there trying to grab him, and not fucking one of them could. You're serious? A flag? They had the whole body. They could have. You could touch any part of this fucking guy. Matter of fact, you can hit him as hard as you fucking want. They still couldn't. You're worried about pulling a flag. I'm not even going to get into this.
If you gave an NFL safety the option, hey, you can either run in front of the tree trunk legs of Saquon Barkley or Derrick Henry, or try to grab his lowish to the ground flag.
By the way, I mean, grab a flag. How about you just grab his hip and pull real quick? And if his fucking shorts get ripped off, I don't know what to tell you. We're grown ass men out here. Like, dude, you're seriously going to even start this war with these guys?
The other piece that I think is hilarious is like, how many times do we see NFL players running away from other NFL players?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm talking like yards of pulling apart from the other elite DBs and corners in this league.
Xavier Worthy is going to be... Dude, Xavier, Tyree, go ahead and pick one.
I don't care how low to the ground you can get with a flag football. You're not catching Jahmyr Gibbs or Saquon Barkley. Dude, unless you're bringing over the 100-meter dash man from Jamaica that's going to come and like chase those guys down, you're not going to catch him. So I don't give a crap how low to the ground or how he can gyrate his hips.
Can you stiff arm? Can you stiff arm?
No.
You're not allowed. You're not. I don't think you're allowed like physical contact.
So I coach flag football. We try and do the Olympic rules. For
so they have the same rules as the 5
So I got. Yeah, and so like I have this kid on my team, Carl. Love Carl to death.
Carl,
right? He's just the bowling ball, right? And he started getting a little stiff army at the end of the year, and he kept getting called for it. And I kept telling the ref, I'm not coaching that out of him. Like, I don't care. Give me the penalty, dude. Because in 3 years, when he's playing on my tackle team, I don't want to coach that out of him.
Right? The aggression is always wanted.
I just can't wait till Saquon just absolutely put someone on their ass with just a quick shake, and they've never seen anything like that in front of them before. And they're like, oh, there's the flag, and then the flag's running 4-2 the other way.
I think
you mean they're staring at his thighs? Jesus.
You bring up the best point, though, which is these like flag football diehard defenders are trying to convince you how hard it is. Like, once you're near the player, there's a whole process for like getting low enough to grab the flag, but like that requires you to be near the player. And if Tyreek Hill in his prime is one of the players, do you think the guy from the Netherlands is going to be close enough to him to be able to grab the flag?
I don't think the guy from America is going to be close enough.
Right.
The dude from America is not going to be close enough, dude. I don't know what to tell you.
Sorry,
like, if you
Chinese
were close
team, you're probably not getting close enough to these guys.
Saquon's going to hurdle you. I think you can hurdle in flag football. Be like, what's the flag? Well, you jumped over him. He's 5 foot tall.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
And he was wearing pads when he did that. Imagine without wearing pads, how high he's going to jump. It's going to be insane, dude. Like, they don't. That's what it is. These flag football communities don't understand how freaky our friends are.
Dude.
Like, dude, we used to watch these dudes at practice and be like, "Did you fucking see that? Did you fucking? Was I the only one that fucking saw that?"
And then you take 15 pounds of pads off of them, or 10 pounds of pads off of them.
We used to see guys in OTAs like jump 10 feet in the air and catch a ball. You'd be like, "Did you fucking see that? Are you serious with that shit?" And now I got to worry about some guy that you've never heard of. Like, dude, it's insane to think.
No worries about getting your guy lit up over the middle of the field. Just throw it 10 feet up in the air and watch these guys just jump up in one hand, catch it.
Dude, Brock Bowers jumping over everybody. Like, go ahead, dare you to.
I can't wait.
I'm so excited now. I'm officially excited for this.
I need an exhibition.
I
need next offseason.
You know what we need?
An exhibition game.
We need the team that everyone, like the NFL, wants to send versus the flag football's number one team.
That's what I mean.
Need to do this right now, and we'll find out who goes. Winner goes.
Yeah, let's just have a wrestle off, right? Like, hey, listen, we're gonna have tryouts.
It reminds me a little of like the international
expansion.
International basketball rules are different. Like, you can goaltend, and the paint is different stuff. And well, wait a second. 30 years ago. Wait till these NBA players get a load of the different rules. Now it's a little bit of a different game here. And Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan are like, no, we're good. We'll figure this out.
Rim's still 10 feet tall, right? Okay.
Oh man, my other like close cousin variation of this argument is the soccer team argument, because we always lament, some people do anyways, that the United States men's soccer team is just not good, right? They never get close in the World Cup and stuff. And I don't know, it's become a kind of a cliche sports talk debate, but if you were to take all of the Saquon Barkleys and Jahmyr Gibbs and from age 3, you are going to obsessively study soccer and you're going to become a midfielder. What would the World Cup look like if instead of sending like, the 5th rate, all due respect, athletes out to play, we're sending out Chris Paul in his prime and Barry Sanders from imagine Barry Sanders in like the 96 World Cup if he studied soccer his entire life. I mean, these athletes are ridiculous.
There's no money in it, so why would I do it, right? It's just like I want to go make millions playing like the guys do over in Europe, right? Messi's making like, what do you think, like 200 million or something?
Over here, he's now making millions playing for Miami in the MLS.
But he's the only one making that money, so
yeah. No one else is.
That's actually, I think MLS has a clause where there's like salary
like one
rules,
dude,
but one player you can just
make
go outside of it.
Ridiculous. And they give him like revenue that comes in. I would absolutely, dude. Beckham. Have you seen what David Beckham's done down there? Number one, I want to meet that fucking guy. He seems awesome and he's super handsome. But when you talk about the fucking,
you know what fine that is.
Absolutely,
I'm not
do.
saying it, but you know what fine that is.
I was thinking about it earlier when you sent that thing on Instagram. I was like, oh man, this is getting weird. But yes, what he's doing down there, that's incredible. But I agree with you, dude. The flag football, I can't believe this is a real fight right now. And I wish and I hope that they do that exhibition, dude. Where would they do it though? That's the question.
I don't care. Anywhere.
Where's neutral ground? Where's neutral ground, everybody? Kansas?
No, you got to put
these Kansas for this shit?
Put these dudes in the pressure cooker, dude. Bring them into an NFL stadium. Yeah, Arrowhead, Mile High, Dallas.
Well, do you know how weird it would look in Arrowhead with 70 yards? Like, dude, you're shrinking the field.
Bring them in. Bring them into a grass field, paint it out, and let's
load the stadium.
$10 tickets.
The 12s.
Yeah, the 12th man.
Going fucking nuts against the flag football team. Fuck yeah.
All right, I have one more, and then I'll turn it over to the audience for their dumb football questions. Quite simply, do you trust Stefon Diggs? If you're Mike Vrabel or anyone really, do you?
Can I phrase it like this? If I were Diggs, I would not trust Mike Vrabel. So if I were you, I'd stop fucking around, right? Vrabes seems like the no-nonsense kind of guy, and after knowing Vrabes for a very long time, I can tell you he is like the least nonsensical motherfucker when it comes to shit like that. So he is like, listen, if it ain't about ball, it ain't about us, right? And instantly it's like we're becoming a distraction for this team that never had distractions ever. And so they're kind of going down this rabbit hole of like, what the fuck is this, right? And it's everyone I feel like is looking at Vrabes like, hey, Vrabes, what are we doing? We shutting this shit out quickly? You going to talk to him? You going to tell him no more fucking pictures, no more nonsense, no more bullshit? Like, what are we going to do here? Like, at some point, you have to have that conversation because, dude, can't tell me it's not weird seeing the Patriots logo up on TV. Like, do they trust Stefon Diggs? Stefon Diggs caught with picture, and you're like, this is new to them. They don't get what's going on. And Vrabes is probably like, damn, what am I doing? Especially because he's an elite player when he's healthy. But at some point, Jay's talked about this, the distraction over your athletic ability, right? And then all of a sudden you're talking about the organization has had such pride for years and never getting in fucking trouble. And when they do, they just slice dudes right off the top. Like, there's no nonsense, right? Did you just talk back to us? Done with your head. Like, this is a weird moment for them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of a pivotal moment for Vrabel's coaching tenure so early in his Patriots, right? He's done it with the Titans for a long time, but this could be one of those things where it's an absolute tone setter. Where if something were to happen and for whatever reason, say they let him go or they trade him or whatever it is, that puts every other person on that team on notice of like, okay, one of an all-pro, Pro Bowler caliber player, we just we put him on the chopping block in a trade block because he wasn't doing what was happening here, right? Like, that's just a tone setter. Or it'll go the other way if Vrabes can wrangle him in, right, and get him under control and get him where he wants to be, and then he can go out and produce, right? Then that shows the rest of the league too, like, hey, he can work with every type of player in the organization. He can help manage the drama queens all the way down to the low maintenance guys. Like, and that's where I'm curious to see where Vrabel goes with this, right? Like, what path does he pick? Is it the Bill path that he knows all so well and knows how to just like, hey, there's a line in the sand? Or is it more on this other path of, hey, I'm going to have to deal with some more of this stuff the longer I'm a head coach in the NFL? Maybe I try and take a little bit of a softer approach initially to try and get him back and get him to where we go, and then we go from there. I don't know. It's going to be a really interesting conundrum for Mike Vrabel.
I think Mike Vrabel. I mean, Booney knows him. I met him once, and Booney like introduced me briefly 2 years ago at Vikings camp. But I think your personality as a football coach is oftentimes molded when you're a player. If you played in the NFL, and if you look at Mike Vrabel's career. He spent 4 years in Pittsburgh in the late 90s under Bill Cowher, and then he spent like 8 years, early 2000s, the first run of championships with the Patriots.
Yep.
You know what Mike Vrabel doesn't have time for and didn't need for those first like 10 years? Wide receivers. Those late 90s, Hines Ward, but he was like a hard.
He was an anomaly.
No-nonsense receiver. Yeah. And then the first 3 championship Patriots teams, Troy Brown? Was Wes Welker on one of those? Like it was not a wide receiver. It was defense, running the football, offensive line, coaching, tight ends, and then maybe you get to wide receiver as like a main reason why those teams were good, right? So I guess to Jay's point, do you come in a little softer because hey, it's a different time than it was 15, 20 years ago, or even
it's a different era, man.
Could easily see that.
We were just talking to a coach that's in college, and he's like, and he played with us in the NFL. And he was like, it's such a different way where it used to be like you could come down on the kid and then love up on the kid. Like that's how it used to be like, hey, you come down on him on the field and everything. And then in the meeting room, you love up on him. Right. But now he's like, you almost have to gain the trust of these people first before you can come down on them. Right. Or else they go in the tank. And so it's just a new era of coaching and styles and social media and everything going on there. And I think Vrabes is still young enough to see that. Right. Belichick, Saban, like those old school, they're not going to change, right? They're just like, listen, I'm too old to handle this nonsense. I'm not going to change. I think Vrabel still has enough young that he wants to do this for long enough. If he does, he's looking at, hey, I should probably change my coaching style maybe a little bit because I have a young quarterback who's going to be with a receiver. I need a good number one receiver, right? Like there's a lot of factors that go into play here.
Yeah. How important do you think Stefon Diggs is to Drake May and the Patriots and Mike Vrabel becoming relevant again, or becoming relevant?
I think he's a big piece of that. He's a very big piece, and that's why I think
for a young Josh Allen.
Yeah, and I think, hey, to be fair, I think Jay has a great point. Like, Vrabes is young enough still, and he's cool enough to know, like, hey, listen, maybe I don't need to be such a hard ass on this dude. That maybe I can show the world that, hey, we're different. We can be cooler about things. Still drop a hammer a little bit on him, but. Dude, when it comes to Diggs being a huge part of this offense, he is your number one threat out there. I mean, he's going to be the guy that everyone, maybe 2 threat out there that everyone's going to be looking at. Like, when's the big play going to happen, right? Like, he is one of the pieces that's like, hey, if this offense is going to get going, it's going to run through him at some point. So we're going to need him, and that's why I think Jay's kind of right. Like, Vrabes is going to look at this and go, shit, I'm in a sticky situation. I'm going to have to put my foot down a little bit, but at the same time, I got to be like, hey, this guy's still important to us, and our offense needs him to have success. So how do I get him to kind of wrangle back up? And I'm sure that's an easy conversation. Like, hey, listen, enough with the bullshit. Let's get with the Patriot way, right? Like, the shit ain't changed. Let's keep going.
That's going to be, wow, this is going to be interesting to see.
It better not be
Stefon Diggs play out the next few months, man.
Well, hold on. Let me see this too. Well, he'd have a dead cap of $16.6 million this year, so he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, this year it's a.
There's the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you'd literally just have to like.
You got to find a way. You got to find a way. Yeah. Right, you can find a way, and then next year his cap hit goes down to 8, so that wouldn't be as bad if they cut him in a dead cap of 8. Like they would eat that.
Let's do
16.6.
By the way, love Diggs though. Love the guy, right?
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I do played with him. We love the dude. It's just at some point.
Cardi B though,
I know it's crazy, dude.
He's become kind of a clout chaser. I feel like.
Whoa, I don't think so. I mean, I follow him on Instagram, and his Fashion Week shit is fucking clutch, dude. Like he is onto that shit, and I am like
proven exactly,
dude. He is all about it though. Like I don't see him really chasing. I see him trying to be a part of that, which is cool. I will say this: the NFL has changed from when I got into it. That guys have more of a life now outside of football. They have more dreams, they have more businesses, they have more companies, they're doing more with their life. That when you see something like that, you're like, man, that's just really cool. But at some point I agree, like you're looking at it like, okay, dude, it's time to go play fucking football now, right? Like cut it off. shut off the Instagram for a little bit. Let's go learn.
Was he on that boat with that substance while the Patriots were practicing a voluntary? I think wasn't that part of the thing? It's like he was literally on the boat.
Listen,
If I'm
they're
wrong,
voluntary.
hammer me in the
If we're
comments.
gonna say they're voluntary, we can't sit
Very
back.
much.
No. And I'm gonna pull my player card out now and go like, listen, we said voluntary, right? We said we wouldn't do this, but here we are, fucking doing it.
Well, didn't
Like,
Vrabel send out the memo too that said these are voluntary, much like
different?
it's voluntary
Jay,
for
what's
me
he making
to
a year?
put you on
Jay,
the roster.
what's he making a year? Jay, what's he making?
I mean, yeah, he signed for $4 million.
Uncuttable.
Yeah, he's not and if you're-
Uncuttable.
I agree with Booney. If you're going to call it voluntary, call it voluntary.
All right, that's fair. Wow,
If he misses
EJ.
if he misses mandatory
Mini camp, that's
totally
different.
different
I guarantee-
conversation.
Listen,
I don't think he will. I don't think he's missing.
You can't, because number one, you do have to pay that fine, but two, that would be a straight slap to the face. Like, yeah, I'm not
Yes.
doing your shit. That's when Vrabes is like,
Yeah, if he misses that, I think they'd eat the 16 and be like, okay, we can't handle this, right? Like, no. But I don't think Diggs will do that. I think
No,
Diggs
he'll
is
be
a
there.
big enough. He's a big enough.
he was already
competitor
at practice. I saw him doing one-on-one
was.
shit. He was showing everybody this one-on-one. Dude, he looks great, man. I'm excited to see him.
He snorted the 40-yard line too. It's crazy. Burn it to the burn it to the ground. 108. Or was it the 30? I can't remember.
He had a stuffy nose. Leave him alone.
He did.
Leave him alone.
Burn it to the ground. 108 chimes in here in the O-line committee YouTube comment section. In many situations in life, we deal with people who just don't get it. People that need something explained to them, that something matters. Is that rampant in the NFL? Guys who just don't get it or don't catch on to things? And how do you deal with people like this as coworkers?
Confused as to what they're not catching on to.
Well, it's one of those things where, yes, there is a proper way and a non-proper way to be a pro, right? Like, and some guys immediately get that. Some guys, it takes a little bit of coaxing to get them there, right? A little bit to understand, hey, there's no hand holding here. This is more of your accountability. There's a lot more of that. And just like anything, it's not fair where if you're a first rounder, you're going to have 4 years to figure it out, right? If you're an undrafted free agent, you don't have it figured out by training camp, they're probably just going to cut you, right? So you have to understand how important it is, because I think a lot of times guys get in the NFL and they're like, oh, I made it. Like, I'm here. It's like, dude, if you're not one of the starters, there's a chance you won't be here if you don't figure it out.
Let
right?
me I want to rephrase this question, because I think what he's getting at is like, all right, you're on a good team and maybe you're an established professional and you want to win games because it helps the team. It helps you.
We're here with the
individually.
Vikings. This is a perfect scenario. We were here with the Vikings together.
Yep. And you've got a couple coworkers in your offensive line room that are on the team, on the 53.
We had this
that,
exact
that
situation.
need more help. To what extent do you feel obligated to bring them up to speed versus, hey, this is your profession, figure it out?
Depends on what time of year it is. Are we in OTAs? Because in OTAs, everyone's kind of fair game and no one's really taking it serious. Like, are we in camp? Because then it's every man for himself, right? Unless you're one of the 5 and then you're protecting the other 4. And then maybe the 6th man, 7th man, we protect them as well. If you're in season, it's my job to make sure everybody's ready. It is everyone's job to make sure everyone's fucking ready. Because if I break my fucking finger and they go, hey, Brian's up, and Brian doesn't know what the fuck's going on, number one, I'm responsible for Brian.
Come on, Brian.
I'm ahead of him. So I need to be like constantly checking on him. Hey, we good with this? You got that check, right? You heard that what we're doing on this? Instead of slipping this, we're going to go back and we're going to chip it, okay? You'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Because you don't know when that guy's got to go in there. And there'd be several times guys would come in the game and they wouldn't know what's going on. And you'd be like, dude, did you not ask any fucking questions this week? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, at some point, chatter around the room needs to happen all the time, even when you're not playing. I used to love when guys that were on practice squad would throw out things like, why would you do this? And you'd be like, well, I did it because this. They'd be like, why? And you'd be like, I guess I don't know why I fucking did that. That was stupid. Yeah, good point. Like, you just don't know who's going to throw out a great point, but the more the room knows, the faster we can all play together. And the more if someone goes down, someone can step right in, and it's like not missing a beat at all.
Yeah, I mean, I found myself at times, when because I turned myself into a bit of a 6th man, right? Like, especially when I was in Minnesota, it was, hey, if anyone went down, I was going in from center out to tackle. And so I found myself in meetings when we'd be going through like blitz walkthrough or blitz pickup in meetings, I would find myself asking questions that I knew guys around me on the second group would have, but didn't want to ask, right? Because I was kind of right there on that fringe of, hey, I know that I could play at any moment, so I prepare like I am a starter, right? And trying to get guys to understand that you have to do that, even if you are the 8th man or the 7th man, because Armageddon might happen. Right. All of a sudden, you have 3 guys get hurt in a game, and you have to win that game. We have to trust all you guys, right? And so something that would be very trivial, right? It's, hey, it's an easy pickup here. We're going to go here. I'd be like, hey, why are we moving that over there, right? And sometimes I'd be like, well, you see the safeties there, and you look at kind of the rookies like, are you listening? Like, are you hearing what we're doing here? Because we might need you. And it's like, oh, okay, right? Like, that's the kind of stuff that you have to do sometimes in the room during season, because you really just never know when you're going to need someone. I didn't anticipate playing my rookie year, right? All of a sudden, they're like, hey, you're on active, you're our 3rd guard. Sweet. All of a sudden, we have 2 guards get hurt, and they're going, Sirles, you're starting the second half against the San Francisco 49ers, right, on Saturday Night Football, and we're down by 3 touchdowns. We have to win this game to go to the playoffs. You're up. If I would have went out there and shit the bed, my career would have been over. Right?
But to Boone's point, in OTAs and training camp, some of those guys don't want you on the team because it's their job.
Well, it's not that we don't want you on the team, but it's like, listen, I got a lot of shit to worry about myself, right? Like, I got to get my shit ready. I got to be ready to perform every day. And at the same time, like, I know the next couple guys, like, I know the 6th man, the 7th man, the 8th man. I need to make sure that they're ready to go with us too, right? Like, they're for sure making this team. So we're making sure that the first 8 guys are all in sync, right? After that, the doors are closed. You want in this fucking room, you got to make the team. I'm sorry. The rest of us had to too. I remember going to guys my rookie year, and they were like, get fucked, rookie. And I was like, I'll get fucked in the corner by myself then. That's cool too. Cool. But I'll tell you what, you appreciate it a lot more when you do become a part of that group. Like, when the doors open back up and they're like, all right, we were just fucking with you. They're quick to just open everything up to you. And then it's same thing. Their job to make sure you're ready all the time.
It's similar to like when we had King on a couple weeks ago, right? Hey, rookie, wake me up. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me, right? Like, that was my entrance into the NFL. But I earned my way into that by making even the practice squad, right? Like, hey, okay, he's on the practice squad. He's partially in the door, right? And then when I made
open
it
like a crack, you
right?
can
And then when
see, and you're
when
like,
I made it onto
I
active,
went in there.
like when I made it onto active, the first week I made it onto active, Philip came to me and goes, Wednesday morning, 5 a.m. blitz pickup, because he understood Jeremiah might play for me this year. Right? Hey, he probably isn't, but he might. And if he does, I need to make sure I'm not going to get killed. Yeah. Right? That's the kind of stuff like, and then once you're in the club, you realize like, whoa, this is totally different, right?
There's
totally different than being on the outside looking in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Peter chimes in and says, how fast do you think a 300-pound offensive lineman could run a mile in mid-season condition? Jeremiah's comments about how physically demanding each rep is and the endurance challenges off like the sumo wrestler conversation from last week.
Yeah.
How fast do you think you could run a mile in mid-season?
It's not going to be good. It's not going to be like what you want it to be, like a fucking 6-minute mile. You could probably push a 10, 11-minute mile.
I'd say 10.
A 10 would be more
the
doable.
problem
in middle season, you're going to be
gonna
slow.
hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Your knees
dude.
are fucking fucked.
Like,
maybe 12.
Much,
I'd say 12-minute mile.
I think mid-season you're talking 10 to 12, strictly off the fact that every step is gonna hurt something. Right? It's like ow. My knee,
it's gonna hurt badly.
I'm
thinking about it. Yeah.
Ow my back. Like,
you're not going to be warmed up till the 4th lap. I would say, listen, if you want to get the best mile out of us, you go first day of camp. If you can do this mile in under 10 minutes, I won't make you condition the rest of the year. You'd get every old lineman running as fast as they could, because that's the healthiest you ever are. First day of camp. Everyone comes in, they're like, everyone healthy? Good. It's the last fucking day of the year. You're going to be, you sons of bitches.
Yeah. I think first day of camp, I could probably do 8-9-minute mile. Easily.
Jay, you don't realize how fast 8 minutes is.
I've ran an 8-minute mile. I've ran an 8-minute mile before. 1 mile, Boone. I'm not talking about you who did 26, right? And you had to pace yourself because you're an idiot.
Even a mile now sounds
100%. But think about 2016, right? When we had to come in and run 15 half gassers. 15.
I was pissed.
Right? That was awful. But imagine if they said just run 1 mile.
How many? What's the distance on
gassers?
Like
is down back.
So
like
what's
100 yards or
53
and a third.
53 and a third, so it's call it 107 yards, and we had to do it in I think 21 seconds. 20 seconds.
20 seconds
20
with 30
seconds
seconds rest.
Right. So then you had 20 seconds.
So one
rest
gasser is 107 yards because it's across.
Down and back.
Yeah.
Did we have to do fulls? Down, back, down, back?
No, we only did halves.
All right, then it was halves.
Fulls were the worst, dude.
God, the turning. No, the worst was doing the 300 shuttle.
Yeah, the 300 shuttles were terrible.
God.
The gassers, if my math is right, because a yard is like 3 feet.
Yeah.
And you're talking 15. So it's 107 times 3 times 15 gassers
321.
is almost a mile. It's just under 5,000 feet.
And what's the time on it? What's 20 seconds times 15? What would that be? That's what our time is.
20 times 15 is 300 seconds, right? Divided by 60.
5 minutes.
So 5 minutes.
They got us running a 5-minute fucking mile, dude. Jesus
Because what
Christ.
you're sprinting the gas.
Oh, you're moving.
Right?
Well, no,
You're
what you
moving.
do is you have to start out really hard, and then you can coast for about
then you
5
cut,
steps, and then you cut, and you got to
and
burst,
and
then you can
stride.
coast again.
Yeah.
There's a
science to it.
formula. You
There's a
because, dude,
science
I'm
to
telling you
it.
right now, you see, like we learned in college, we used to have to do 20 gassers, and so they would always teach the freshmen like there's a method because you just go out blazing all of them. And by 10, they were like, "You're done." You're like, it was terrible. So they'd be like, "You got to coast the middle, but you burst the beginning and you just
Yeah,
like,
you got to
all
get out of the cut. You can't get stuck in the cut because the worst thing you want to do is all of a sudden like you're crossing the hash, like to come back, and all of a sudden you hear like 18,
18,
you're like,
19, 20. Oh, it's terrible.
You wanted to be. I mean, there's and you
15,
always wanted to
if you
have a
heard
buddy.
15, you were good.
Yeah, you wanted to have a buddy. Like there was a method in your brain where if like you heard 15 and you were crossing this certain point, you knew you
You're
were
good.
good. Like, and you always had a buddy you ran with that you knew would pace well with you. And yeah, I mean, there's a method.
We'd
to
always
all that
claim to
nonsense.
never like go fast, but by like 15, we were all trying to run them 10 seconds because we were so
Yeah.
excited they were done. We were like, "Fuck everybody."
Yeah, there's always the like, hey, everyone calm down, right?
Slow
Like,
the fuck down.
and then you always had the one guy, Zach Karen, that would just like sprint the whole
Oh,
thing. And
you
he'd be
think Karen
finishing
was
it.
bad? Who was the other one? The one that mic'd the fucking corner. Go ahead. That one used
Oh,
to run
Nick
hard
Easton?
as he used to run hard as fuck, dude. He'd be like, "Dude, seriously?" He'd be like, "I gotta make this team, dude." You'd be like, "Dude, you're making the rest of us look like dickheads, bro." God. And then all of a sudden, Tony'd be like, "Why is Nick Easton beating everybody in a fucking gasser?" You'd be like, "God, dude, Nick,
So you don't get
fucking
extra
God."
points for finishing early.
Tony, it's a check or minus, right? Like I'm getting a fucking check. How much are we paying you to lose to Nick Easton? Jesus Christ, Tony. Fuck you. You run it.
Rip.
Love him. I miss him.
Football.
So
Trivia Man 68 says, dumb football question for Jeremiah specifically. I know you spent some time at center. Did you prefer a light touch or a firm one from the quarterback?
Firm. 100%.
you
firm
need
touch.
that knuckle in there, dude.
Dude,
you need
I
that
want-
fucking. You
I want to
pushing.
feel you.
Top knuckle.
Yep.
I want to feel you lift my sack.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if we fumble the football on the exchange, I'm getting cut.
It's him.
I'm getting
it's
cut.
him
They're not
getting
going to
cut.
blame
Yeah.
you.
No.
They're not going to blame the quarterback. They're going to say, get it up there. Be like, I did get it up there. I didn't feel him. I think I've told the story. I distinctly remember in Carolina, I had a young quarterback, Kyle Allen. I was playing third team center. I was second team right guard, whatever. And we fumbled 2 exchange, and I grabbed him by the face mask and was like, you will not get me cut. And we took him onto the sideline, and I was like, get in there. Like, get up in there, man, because a lot of these kids don't know how to take under center snaps. Right?
Get
I was talking
in
to I was
there.
talking to John Michael, and he's like, at the Giants, he's like, Jackson Dart never had a cadence and never got under center. Right? That's a learning curve. And you have to learn how to get up underneath there and feel it. And I can remember going from the 2s to the 3s and having a real quarterback and be like, oh, there he is, right? Because then you have an exact aiming point where you want to put that ball. Right? You can feel where that aiming point is. If you're guessing back there, it's a scary feeling as a center to not know where that hand is. Right? So firm touch. I want to feel you lift. Lift me up. Be lifting my butt
Lift
up, and I'll know
the
exactly.
sack. If you can lift the
exactly where
sack,
that
you are
hand is.
right where he wants you to be. Lift it.
Yep. Also, quarterbacks' hands are disgusting. Right? The backhand of a quarterback is disgusting.
In what, like, I shudder to
Think-
ask this, but in what
Yeah.
context?
Where are we going with this, Jay?
Think about the sweatiest human beings you know in your life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Think about it. And then think about taking your right hand and putting it right in the gooch area.
And not
Right?
just the
I
sweat,
mean,
by
you
the
gotta
way.
get
There
up.
might be-
I
I'm
mean,
not
you're
talking
up
residue
there.
that leaks through
Dude,
those
you're
things,
pushing.
too.
There is
hard.
There is disgustingness all over that quarterback's hand. It is not.
Were you a
And you know, it's
swassy
never
guy?
really
Or-
talked about. It's
I
never
wasn't
talked about.
I was never a super swassy guy, but Chris Watt, drafted in the 3rd round to the Chargers, was one of the sweatiest human beings I've ever been around in my entire life. And when he had to make the move to center when Hardwick retired, Philip used to take the big Gatorade towels. Like, I'm not talking about like the little like hand towels. I'm talking the big ones. And he'd
beach
roll
towels,
it.
yeah.
He'd roll it up and he'd shove it in Chris's behind, right? So that it would try and mop up as much as possible, because he was like, dude, this is disgusting, right? And they hate it when their hand gets super sweaty, because then the ball gets slick. Like, yeah, if you're a SWAS center, the quarterback will shove towels in your ass. 100%.
I want to know, in NFL history, how many games have been cost in a high leverage moment because of like
A
too
sweaty
much
ass.
center ass sweat,
Yeah,
botching
it's a real
the
thing.
exchange.
It's a real thing. We need to get a quarterback on here and talk with him about it, because I mean,
sure do.
it's a very real thing.
Yeah, who would Philip Rivers come on this podcast?
I don't think
Does
Philip
he do
does
any
anything.
media?
I don't think Philip does anything.
We gotta
besides
get
have
Ragnow on,
all
by
his
the
kids.
way. We gotta
Yeah,
get
we got to
Yeah,
definitely
quarterback.
get Frank, especially
He's a
Minnesota,
Minnesota
guy.
guy. We'll get him on.
Hey,
For sure.
could you call Phil?
I don't have Phil's number. I wasn't that
Call
cool,
King.
dude.
Get King to get it.
King would be the one to do it.
King, just give it to me and blame it on me. And I always have a great way of doing it. I don't know how I got your number. I just got it.
Yeah, he's probably not going to answer or call you.
Yeah, he
back.
will. Yeah, he will.
Let's
We need
go
to get Bradford.
to. Well, you said he hasn't. He appeared in public once at like
but,
an Oklahoma
but he
game.
he appeared on the. He just played in the U.S. Open. He tried to qualify for the. He tried
Did
to
he really?
qualify. Yeah, it was him.
like the
Danny,
longest day ever thing. Is that?
I think he did that last year or this year. One of the two. Him
What?
and Danny Woodhead did it. So yeah, I mean, I saw a picture of it that he tried to do it. I think.
I want to Google this. Sam Bradford.
Hold on.
Yeah, he qualified for the U.S. Amateur 4-ball tournament at some point.
Yes,
He's like a legit.
he's a
legit
quarterback.
golfer,
Dude,
man.
quarterbacks, they just know how that torque and rotation. Like, quarterbacks can hit the ball so far.
Just natural athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterbacks. I've been golfing for 30 years. Still barely break 90. Just terrible.
Oh, if I break, I've only broken 90 once in my life, so we're getting
It's
there.
it's like winning a Super Bowl, really, when you tap that double bogey in for an 89 on the 18th hole.
Mm-hmm.
Graham Singer says, how do substitutions work in the NFL? Are there rotation players standing by certain coaches knowing when to check in? Like when you
good
and
question.
also what happens too is like you'll call for a personnel grouping as the play clock is winding or something. Like how is all that communicated and organized?
So the first thing is the first words out of the play caller's mouth is the personnel grouping, right? So as the play, so say we're on offense and say first down ends, right? As that play is ending, the first thing the coordinator's going is, hey, 11, 11, 11, 11, right? Or 12, 12, 21, 23, 22 pony, 11 special, right? Whatever it is, to tell the people on the sideline to start screaming that personnel to get that substitution out on the field, right? So that's the first thing is you have to have the personnel group right? 11 is one back, two tight ends, 12, one back, one back, one tight end, 12, one back, two tight ends, right? So the first number is always the back. The second number is the number of tight ends, right? So that's a really easy way if you hear like, oh, this is 21 personnel. Okay, two backs, one tight end, right? So 22 is like your big set, 23, 13, so on and so forth. So that's the first thing. And then there's usually with the specialty tags, right? Hey, 12 muscle, right? Which is the extra O lineman now is the extra tight end, right? Or 11 muscle, or hey, 21 pony, right? Which is instead of a fullback and a halfback, it's
Two running backs.
Two running backs, right?
Ooh,
so
my
there's
favorite.
tons of different terms that you can throw into like, hey, specialty packages, but that's the very first thing that has to get communicated because that's the longest thing that takes if someone screws up, right? If they're calling 12 and all of a sudden 11's in the huddle and you're looking around going, oh, we're short one, and then you got to run some guy on, like that is the number one thing that's got to get communicated.
So the coach, let's say it's a head coach play caller like a Sean McVay or Andy Reid, in the headset he's saying 11 11 11 for the next play.
Yep.
But like,
And then the quarterback
how
go
do
like
the
this.
Okay, so yeah, how do the players then know that?
He'll look in the huddle and go, hey, 11, 11, 11, and then those not in 11 will book it out of there, and then those in 11 will run
everyone's
out. Yeah.
signaling. 11,
That's why they
11,
step
11.
out and
they
they'll
have
go
the
like
cards.
this.
They have the cards too that they'll put up on the sideline, and then everyone on the sideline screaming the person.
But they don't just do numbers. Like sometimes I've been places where it's like hearts, diamonds, clubs, spades. I've been places where it's other
we had one
names.
that was cities. Ours was there in New York.
There's
it
a
was
lot
cities.
of things it could be.
It
So
was
the quarterback's always echoing.
Detroit, New York, New
When I
Jersey, Texas.
I covered the Brad Childress Vikings. It was like a West Coast Philadelphia, Andy Reid Philadelphia offense, and they used eagle. I don't know. It was like eagle. I think it was like different birds or something.
Yep. Yeah. It's just
There's a lot
whatever's
of
the
things you can
fastest
use.
way. Whatever's the fastest way to get people onto the field, they're the quickest.
Let's do this one here. Last one here, because Jay's got to do agent things
Yes.
in a few minutes. So I like this one. Bass or Base Forever says, dumb football question. When you first got into playing football, did you want to play offensive line, or were you put there because you had, let's just say, the right build at that age?
I had no choice. So in Colorado, we had this thing called a patch limit, which was if you weighed over a certain amount, they would sew this giant black patch on your shoulder, which meant you couldn't play in the backfield. Right, it meant you had to play on the offensive line.
Oh, it was like unsafe for the other
kids.
Yeah,
because you were too big to carry the football. Yeah, so we had big old black patches on our shoulders, and so I was a patch kid my entire life. And so it was like, okay, I don't really have a choice. I must play on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football, and that's just how it went. So, but it was funny when you had the tweeners, right? The guys that were big but athletic for their age. Like I can remember one of my friends, Tommy. He was our running back, but he was like physically developed in 6th grade and he never got any bigger. And so he was like running in a trash bag the day before weigh-in so that he could make weight. So he wasn't a patch player, right? So it's kind of just that whole natural thing, but I'd never played anything besides O-line and D-line my entire life. And Boone was an ogre in 4th grade.
No, I was massive. I wasn't allowed to do anything.
It's kind of unfair, man. Like they never gave like a
my wife asked me this all the
Booney
time.
The football.
No,
you know?
well they did, but it was terrible. They gave it to me like once, and I fell flat on my face. But my wife always asked me like, "Didn't you ever want the ball?" And I was like, "No, I guess I didn't," because I was just so big all the time. I was like, I'm not going to be able to do much with it.
Did either one of you guys ever in college or the NFL like pick up a loose ball and start running with it?
I showed it on the podcast that one time when I caught the.
Oh, that's right.
I caught
we
that.
Got drilled.
I caught that batted ball in the preseason. I got murdered, and I was like, "This is stupid." I was like, "Why would anyone want to carry
do that?"
You just feel 11 sets of eyes on you, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is not fun."
Fuck that.
They might grab my flag. I better get low to the ground. Oh,
drop my hips, and gyrate.
Are you prepared to wrap this episode with an F1
you know
minute?
I am.
Oh god!
F1
I thought we got out of it for a week.
You'll never get out of it,
and then
you'll get out of it next week.
And
there's no Grand Prix next week,
which is also just a race, right? Why do they call it Grand Prix?
Yes.
It's a race.
I don't know. It's what they call it. It's called a Grand Prix. Leave it alone.
Race.
Be cultured.
So 60 seconds on the clock here, and then we'll do the Boone post game show reacting to the F1 minute afterwards. Stick around for that. Great. All right, here we go. The beeps are coming. 60 seconds on the clock. Jeremiah with the F1 minute. Go.
So we had the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend. It was an eventful one, to say the least. Oscar Piastri takes home yet another win for McLaren. Lando Norris comes in second. McLaren's car is by far the most dominant, as it's been all year. But the real fireworks came between Max Verstappen and George Russell at the end of the race. A late safety car comes in, so everyone comes in the pits for new tires. Everyone goes on softs. Max Verstappen goes on the hard compound tire, which he was super pissed about. Spins out on the restart. Charles Leclerc gets by him, bumps him. He ends up taking third. George Russell rushes him off the track at the end. Team orders to let Russell get by. Verstappen bumps him like it's go-karts and ends up bumping him around. Verstappen gets a big penalty. He's 1 penalty point away from having to miss an entire Grand Prix. Dropped him down to 10th. His world championship hopes are really starting to fade, but he's still back. We're in Canada in 2 weeks for the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll see you all there.
Wow, look at this guy right
Wow, he got docked 1 point. Oh my god.
No, 3 points.
Oh, he's 3 points away
He
from
now
big
has,
trouble.
I think he has 11 points on his license right now, and if you hit 12, then you are suspended for an entire race.
An entire Grand Prix. Right?
Entire Grand Prix, right? And people were super pissed at Max about it because they were like, oh, it's a baby back move, whatever. I think he's just such a competitor. He doesn't care about nothing, and I love it. He hates the FIA, which is fantastic.
What are your thoughts on hard compound tires?
You know, the slip out, I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you
he didn't have a lot of traction coming out of the corner.
No, I mean, I would have went soft for sure. I'd have been upset for sure.
He didn't have. He ran out of tires. You only get a certain tire allotment.
Well, if you weren't
per
such
race.
an idiot, you'd have packed more.
No, he used them all. He was on a 3-stop strategy. The late safety car kind of threw it in the mix there, so he was very upset about the hard compound tire.
We've talked about this way too long. I cannot.
I would have brought some 1/2-inch cleats, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Got to get the
7
stickiness in
studs.
those compounds.
I'd have brought some 7 studs.
Screw-ins. Got to get the screw-ins.
Let's go.
All right, click that like button, the subscribe button here on the O-Line Committee YouTube channel. And then again, a 5-star rating and a positive review on Apple and Spotify. For the Rhino, for Jay, I'm Phil. This is the O-Line Committee. See you guys.